Hi guys, what's going on? What's going on? So, I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Right, saying that the old year would have passed, we're currently in the year 2026 of a new calendar year, and seeing that the old year would have passed, and I didn't get time to update you guys on many things. I'm currently busy, really busy, working on the follow-up chapters for Invasion, previously known as Invasion 2020, now Invasion Protocol. That is one of the things I would need to update you guys based on what is going on. So, as on the topic of that, I'll just let you guys know one time. So you guys could leave your comments and stuff down below, or wherever you guys just text in the live chat. But yeah, so as I'm on the topic of that, uh so we're actually closer now to the year 2030 than the year 2020, to which the idea would have originated from. Right, in the year 2020, I would have wrote that story, Invasion 2020, the entire story from start to finish. And it was based on COVID-19, and how COVID would have affected my life and the lives of the people around me. And so I took it a bit further than just this normal biological, virus, right? And envisioned, what if COVID-19 was like this invasive alien species? I have a video talking about this as well too. And so what I did is make COVID this invasive alien species, as I've said now, and they came to Earth and they just here to get our resources and essentially delete us human beings from the face of the Earth, right? And so I wrote this story, but at the time I didn't have the equipment necessary to make it, look and feel as how I actually really wanted the idea to look and feel, right? And so I would have waited a bit until I got the necessary equipment. And in the year 24, I would have built my first PC. And so I had the hardware equipment, I had the cameras and the gears in terms of like drones and all these things, all the hardware readily available to create the story that I wanted to know. And so I filmed the first chapter of Invasion 2020 in 24, and would have released that first chapter in 24. I think it was sometime in November. I would have taken it down a lot after that and re-edited it, because I just saw that there were a lot of mistakes I would have previously made in post-production editing. And in all honesty, I'm like this sort of perfectionist now. I love to see um, my work being put out there to the best that I know that I could, and like how I have it in my head. And so I would have taken it down and re-edited it, and then I took it down again, and I just sort of hold it up now. And it is a good thing, because having a conversation with my fiance, I realized that, as I've said at the beginning of this life, that we are now closer to the year 2030 than we are in the year 2020 now. And so I started to think now, what is the purpose of titling the entire series Invasion 2020 when 2020 is like so far gone? So I would have retitled the entire series to Invasion Protocol. It is currently um, the new title of the series. So it is now known as Invasion Protocol and no longer Invasion 2020. And so I'm currently really busted and caught up editing everything with regards to that. I would have re-edited the first chapter again. And I am re-editing it not only to be reposted here on YouTube, but rather to try to find a way back into the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. It is the first film festival that I would have submitted a film to, and it was rejected in the year 2020. So now I want to re-enter the film festival, but this time with these new projects, right? And so I am editing the first and second chapter of Invasion Protocol to participate in the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, which is I think it's opening entry like 11 days from now, so the 12th of January. Um, I have this short film that I also did, Children of the Mist, which is the short film that it is a story about like the Duen and the folklore surrounding those mythological creatures from the Caribbean, and so I want that also to be a part of the submission to the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. So I'm trying to finish at least like 5 or 6 films in order to submit them all to the festival and other festivals currently. So that's why I'm not on YouTube as much as I would normally like to. What I do is to try to do some live streams, but I live stream like video games. Whenever I have some like I'm trying to take some me time, I play a lot of video games. I won't say a lot as of lately, but I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger. So what I do now is whenever I get some time, I play a little video game. Most likely Space Marines 2. I love that game very much. Or Warhammer 40K Demon Hunter. That is the one with the Green Knights. The turn based. I love that very, very much. So I would play it in order to allow the view count on my YouTube channel, to grow now, right? And in doing so, it would allow me the opportunity to, to keep some of these features that I would have on YouTube as the advanced features because I would have had them before, but they were taken away because my channel wasn't as active now. So in the meantime, whilst I'm working on these projects, I try to keep the channel as active as possible. Um, I know being a YouTuber is very hard, right? Being a YouTuber is very, very, very hard. It is even more harder when you're not from a first world nation or a developed country and you're living in a third world country and trying to, create content and put it on YouTube. It is very difficult. All right. I don't know if the algorithm doesn't accept or it doesn't push content that is from like third world nations. Or I can't say that. Oh, yes, actually, I could. Because I had a video that actually blew up many years ago to surpass like 4 million views, I think. But it was a video I did of these edited compilations of like these cinematic these movies, and I'm not sure if many of you guys who are currently subscribed to the channel will remember that particular video, but it was a video of like Jean Grey and Scott Summers from the X-Men. I don't know if some of you guys know, I love the X-Men very, very much. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so I would have created a video with regards to that. And so when I initially posted it, that video started to go viral. And I thought to myself, well, okay, maybe if this video is currently going viral, I could, do a bunch of other content and post it up, and maybe I could get like the traction and the subscribers from that particular video would come back to the other videos that I would upload afterwards. Now. And it didn't happen, so I was quite confused as to how the algorithm worked. And so I just left the video to grow, and it surpassed like 3 point something, I believe like 4 million, or if not 4 million, it's like 3.8 or 3.9 million views. And it was literally the most popular video on the channel. However, the content was copyrighted as expected, and because it was copyrighted, it would have hampered the growth of my channel organically. Now. So I couldn't access advanced features. And yes, I did access it at first, but then YouTube took it away because because they say like the channel isn't based on authentic content now, not original content now, it's like copyrighted stuff. So they took away a bunch of the advanced features from the channel, and so I would have had to delete that video, even though it was the most popular video on the channel. As I said, surpassing like 3 million, 4 million views. I had to take it down and rework the channel from the ground up. And so I try my very best to create original content all the time. I know it is very, very. I stay away from YouTube a lot because, like, trying to create content, as I've said, is very difficult, especially when you have responsibility, being a parent, having to work a 9 to 5 and all these type of things. You don't really get much time to be creative now. And the little time that you do have to be creative, or the little free time that you might have, it would be dedicated to other stuff, seeing about your family and all these things. So I still try my very best to, put contents out there now. And, especially like these short films. So all these ideas that I would have that I don't want to lose. And I just want you guys to see that creative side of me. I try to work on them as soon as possible, as much as possible, and so it kind of leads me into this creative bubble where I'm just always editing or always filming, and then not posting anything at all. And because of that, I don't really get right. I don't really get much views on the channel, or the subscriber count doesn't really grow as much, right? And so it really, really becomes a problem, right, for the channel itself. And so YouTube takes away, at times they would have taken away some of the features that I would have had access to now. And now they would have granted it back, because I'm creating more longer formatted content, and content that is durable and would have a lot of views generated, and view hours generated from that content, as my recent video, the Pitch Lake tour video, the Murga Pitch Lake tour video. That is one of the videos that is doing really, really well on the channel so far. And I would really, really like to say thanks, guys, everybody who would have supported, like, shared that video. Your support is really, really really, really appreciated. I saw some of you guys came on the live a little bit in a little while ago. Oh yeah. Okay. There are actually two persons here. Hi. I hope everybody doing good. Yeah, happy new year, guys. Happy new year, guys. Hope you guys have the best, most productive new year ever. Wishing you guys all the best. Uh so if you guys have any questions that you wanna ask, stuff that you wanna find out, whilst I kinda rambling on and on here, you can go ahead. But that is the whole gist of me not posting content as of now. All right. Very, very preoccupied with the short films that I'm working on, and along with work and family time and all these things. So and as I've said, I think it is very, very difficult to be or to grow as a YouTuber here in the Caribbean. It takes a lot of work. In all honesty, I think so. There are some persons who would have done it and who are doing very, very well. I.e., Certified Samson, Junior Lee, and there's a bunch more other local Trinbagonian based content creators, and even Caribbean based content creators, who are doing very, very well. But most of their traffic isn't coming from YouTube, if you understand. Most of their supporter base isn't really generated from YouTube now, right? What they do is they gather, or they gain a lot of supporters on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, and then that follower fan base is then transferred over, or follows them over onto YouTube now, right? But it is never organically generated from YouTube itself. And I think that is one of the challenges as a content creator in the Caribbean, and content creators from the lesser Antilles, and maybe even South America, like myself, being based in Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, I think it is very, very difficult, and it could be something that YouTube could work on this year in order to help push smaller content creators, and give us a bigger opportunity to see now, right? I see somebody put a comment here. Yeah, so I'm actually from Trinidad and Tobago, Moruga to be exact. I was born and raised in Moruga, but I've spent some time living in San Fernando, over the years. But I am originally from Murga, and I spend a lot of my time in Murga here. So yeah. But back to what I was saying. I really tried my best to create a lot of authentic content, especially this new series. Let's explore. The idea behind this series is to create or to highlight all these local and historical sites and places in rural Trinidad and Tobago that a lot of people aren't aware of. Uh, internationally, but locally, we know it and we love it. So I have even the other 4 episodes to finish, film and editor out of Let's Explore. It was supposed to be 7 episodes in total. I cut it down to like 5. So I still have those episodes to finish, film and editor, and also um along with working on these stuff for the film festivals, in like Invasion Protocol and all these things now. So I'm really occupied with post production, editing, and all these things are behind the scenes now. That's why you guys aren't seeing as much content as I would like to put out. Right. But if you guys have any question, I see. Okay, so we actually only have one person here. Hi, happy New Year, all the best wishes. If you guys from Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm from, you could like put it down in the live chat below. I'm actually on my phone. My system is currently rendering some work, so I don't want to use it to live stream now, right? I don't want to like use up some of the CPU or GPU power and then have the live, sticking or crashing. So I'm currently live streaming from my phone until my PC is finished rendering the second chapter for Invasion Protocol, which is supposed to I wanted that to be premiered the 23rd, the day before Christmas Eve, but there are some things that still needs to be changed and worked on. And as I've said, I'm trying to perfect it in order to put it uh submitted to the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival now, right? So okay, very nice. That's glad that I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, you might hear it in the accent. We can't hide. I was trying to speak more standard English. I realize I have a huge viewer base from like overseas. A lot of people from overseas actually view, not all, but some of my content. And one of the critique I get from them most of the times is they can't understand some of the things that I'm saying now, right? We like to cut up everything we just say in Trinidad and Tobago here, and we lackadaisical, right? Right, that's a word I guess only we Chinese would understand again too. So yeah, yeah. So it's a new year, 2026, new challenges. I really want to do a lot of stuff this year. I want to also do another folklore short film, but one that is based on the Sokoya. I There's a featured film that I want to do based on that, an hour and 20 minutes long. So it'll be 80 something minutes in total. However, I want to get like a budget for it now. And I don't think I could go and make such a request for the budget that I want just yet until maybe I sort of have a foothold inside these major film festivals here regionally, right? And build a sort of name for myself and my company. So once I go to these institutions and ask for a budget to put towards a featured film, I guess they won't hesitate, right? Instead of me kind of technically being a nobody and going and asking for a bunch of money, not borrowed but granted to create a film, and maybe even if it is on loan to create a film to be submitted to like these international film festivals in Los Angeles and thing. I don't think they would offer to give me that money now. Right. So that's why I wanted like build a name for myself using these short films and this short film series that I'm working on, Invasion Protocol, and then once that kicks off and I start getting traction from that, or a little more publicity. I don't like fame, in all honesty. My objective is to share my work with the world and to let people see, some of the ideas that I have in my head now, right? To share what is be going on in this crazy mind with y'all. However, it is not some. I don't want to have to get to the point where you see people being uncomfortable. They can't go to the store, they can't go to the grocery or the supermarket, or they can't go to the theater to watch a movie with your kids or anything like that because you're being engulfed by a crowd of people and all these type of things. I don't want that whatsoever. I really, really don't like it. Um, I really, really don't like it, and I sympathize with a lot of these celebrities who have to go through that because it can be really, really uncomfortable, right? I am a family member to someone who is a major celebrity here in the West Indies, in the Caribbean, and I've seen it firsthand, the effects of that, and I've never really, really liked it. Um, I don't think it is something that a lot of people should like because once you have that spotlight on you, it brings a lot of unnecessary attention. Right? There are people who would like it because who into all the clouds and the fame and all these things, and those persons could utilize it to the max and become very, very popular. However, I'm not that type of person. I don't like it at all. I love my privacy. I value it very, very much. And so all I just want is to create content and share my content with the world, right? I guess in doing so, it would put me at the forefront to being exposed to you know the spotlight a bit, but I just kind of like always pull back myself from that. Right after winning a couple of film festivals here locally, one of the things I would always do, and I apologize to admitting to this now, I actually duck out on a lot of these interviews. People who come and try to reach out and it's like, hey, so we're doing this newspaper article about you, or we wanted to come on the TV tomorrow on Channel 3 or Channel 6 or Channel 9 for an interview because you just won this film festival. I'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, what day, thing. Let me just get back to you now. And I just kind of duck out of that, right? Because it is bad, and I know I shouldn't be admitting that now. Right? But I just literally kind of run from it because I don't like all that spotlight, right? I don't like all that. I don't like it, and I just want to create content, right? That's just me. So um, yeah, I don't know how far along that video is before it finishes rendering. So I have to like review it after. One of the things I just do is after I finish a short film or an episode or something that I'm working on, I would after it is finished rendering, I would review it. I'd have a couple of people come watch it, review it, and then take notes from what they see, and if they like it, what they see that could be changed, and I try to work on it as much as possible. And in making those changes, after they see whatever changes they think necessary, I would watch it, rewatch it once more, and then make those changes now. And it's a process that I keep repeating over and over and over again. Sometimes some things slip me. Sometimes I would have to go back and reshoot some additional scenes because I guess ideas just come, especially if you are an editor. You would know once you're in post production and you're editing, especially putting a film together or a series together. Uh, you usually get ideas in the middle of editing now. And what I do when I do get that is I try to jot it down as soon as possible and see how plausible it is to create and film set ideas to put it in the film now. And if I can, I would. If I cannot, I would try to edit all these scenes together now, right? To just make it very very smooth and let the film itself transition very smoothly now. But if I can reshoot, I would most definitely go and reshoot some of these scenes or shoot additional scenes to fit in some of these places. to film up to fill these gaps now, right? To which the audience might see and say, okay, well, this missing here, and to close up some of these plot holes that might be just lingering, So I do a lot of filming, right? Most of my films I usually film. It is never less than 10 days, because my team is small. It always includes myself, my fiance, my little sister, and maybe friends, other friends or family members. Right? So it is always a small team, and nevertheless we always get the job done, and in the manner in which we'd like to see it, right? And so we never film less than 10 days. I wish I could film an entire episode or a chapter of a series in less than 10 days. And then the post production process takes like about almost like a month into 2 months, especially with some of these ideas that I have, to which I include heavy visual effects in Tuna. Right. So it takes a lot of time to create these films and to bring these ideas to life. I In all honesty, this year I'm trying to see how best I could like finish up all these old ideas that I would have had from last year, and try to work on some new ones that I currently have at the moment in time. Right? Is it very plausible? If I have the time, yes. If I do not, then it can be challenging and it could become a problem, right? And I guess this entire year could pass me by doing the same projects that I had last year. And usually, what happens is when I realize that is happening, I just cancel the project outright, right, and start working on the new projects. So, like this previous film that I would have worked on, A Journey to the Ancient Land of Muruga. I don't know how many of you guys actually saw that, but it would have been one of my first short films that I would have filmed and edited and submitted to a film festival. It was rejected. And now looking back on the entire thing, I see sort of why it was rejected from the particular film festival that I would have submitted it to. However, um, it was selected in many other film festivals, and I would have won a couple of awards for that particular film, right? But after filming the second part of Journey to the Ancient Land of Muruga and editing out the entire thing in post production, my laptop crashed. Then I had most of the footage on an external HDD. Mind you, guys, this is a warning. If you have information stored on external hard drives, HDDs, and your hard drive is more than 3 or 4 years old, back up that information as soon as possible. I am warning you guys, back up that information as soon as possible, right? Even if it's going to cost you maybe a few $100 and you can't afford it, borrow the money or don't use the hard drive at all. What I didn't know is that most hard drives have a lifespan, and the lifespan depends on how much information is written on that particular hard drive. And so when my laptop crashed in the middle of filming or editing in Vision, not in Vision 2020, Journey to the Ancient Land of Murga Part 2, which would have been the Sunken Kingdom, it my laptop crashed and the hard drive itself, I don't know, the hard drive was damaged in the process now. And because of that, the um all the information was gone. And so if I wanted to recreate that entire film, I would have had to start over from scratch now, the entire thing in post production and all these things. So it was a lot of work, and I didn't see it to be really necessary. So what I did, I would have written out the entire storyline from beginning to end and created a novel now, right? So which I'm almost finished with, and I'm going to publish. But I would have done the first episode so readers of the novel could get an idea of, how it would look visually. And I the rest is going to be written out, so you guys could read it out. And this is the part where I choose for most of my films that I can't complete, or series that I can't complete, because I don't have the time and the finances and the effort to just keep putting behind it. And somebody would have told me this many years ago that I try to go too big most of the times, and so in doing so, it causes me to have to slow down eventually, no? Right? And the suggestion they would have made is to like start real small, create these short films that requires little to no visual effects, and just focus on storylines and everything else now, right? And so I would have last year I would have taken up that advice. Maybe not as much as I should have, because most of my films were still heavy with visual effects. Maybe because I know I could create visual effects and implement it in my films. Maybe that is one of the reasons why I always include it, to add a little spice to it. But I try now, as you guys would have seen with Children of the Mist, there's a lot of practical shots in the film, along with visual effects, but the visual effects was like dulled down a bit compared to like Invasion Protocol and other films that I would have worked on, right? And so the idea is to moving forward to sort of use that same method now, right? I can't use it for Invasion Protocol chapter 3, 4, 5, and beyond, because that is heavy visual effects, right? So those major film series episodes, those are going to take some time, and those would require the heavy visual effects. But like the smaller chapters and short films that I would be working on eventually, which is like folklore films and all these things, those things won't necessarily need as much visual effects. So I would I would like film most of the stuff practically, right? And just adding little flares here and there, right? Even like if it's like these mythological creatures, I could do like a nice 3D model and animate it and just have it pop up in and between the films, not just say like it is present where you're seeing it regularly, right? That is the route I want to go down, but it would allow me now as a filmmaker to focus more on storytelling now, right? And having the audience immersed in the story and be connected to the characters and everything else in the story besides focusing on the visual effects now, right? I would have many years ago, before I was able to do visual effects as much as I do now. As you can kind of see there, I would have written a lot of stories. I would have had a lot of ideas. I had like this little diary or this little notepad that I used to just jot down stories in, and it's like hundreds of stories. I used to write a lot, write a lot, write a lot. And it is something that I would have been credited for many times by my previous teachers, right? When I used to when I was in school. And so even after finishing school, I always had this love for writing now. And so once I started to do film, I started to write these stories, and most of my stories at the beginning were more, how to say it was more character based, and it focused a bit more or a lot more on the characters in the story rather than the flashy spots here and there and the visual effects that I do now, right? And so I want to revert to that now, right? To creating films that the audience could connect to without seeing all these big special effects and all these things, and it's just face to face human interaction, and it is something that you could connect to, that you could feel, and win over the audience heart and mind through that. And so that is one of the things that I really want to focus on. So guys, I don't want to make this too long. I think that um would be finishing rendered by now, is about that time. So we've been here for almost like 35 minutes. I really, really appreciate everybody who came on this live. Shout out to everyone. Most definitely, I'm coming back on here in a bit. Maybe not right away, but later on in the morning, maybe like after 11, 12 midday today. That will be on my PC. So, yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoy. Happy New Year once again. Hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful year this year. Hope you guys do a lot of productive stuff and be as creative as you can be, and push your potential to the max, right? Don't shake it to the max. Push your potential to the max, right? And do what you want to do now, right? And make your dreams come true, right? So hope you guys enjoyed, and it was nice chatting with you all. Yeah, cheers.